Now look at this beautiful trail. And I have a question for you guys. Why don't you ride every day? Story time. So I bought this bike 3 years ago. And initially when I bought it, I knew there needed to be a little bit of work done to the bike itself. One of the biggest things was a new battery and an oil change. So for about the first week, I couldn't really do much riding. But as soon as I got that thing up and running, you can say there was nothing holding me back. And at first, yes, I'll take it easy on the trails. I'll just like slowly go, and I'd always ride the local trails that I had around me. And I would go riding about once every other day for the first month. And then I want to say that I slowed down just a little bit. I didn't lose interest. I was still watching videos about people riding their dirt bikes, but honestly I wouldn't ride the bike myself, and that puzzled me just a little bit. You know, I've always wanted a dirt bike, especially 250. I even got it sitting right here in front of me, but I never really wanted to ride it. It would always just sit in the garage and it wouldn't really do anything else. And the thing is, every time I'd come out and sit on my bike and take it for a ride, I'd always come back home with a big smile. I always enjoyed the ride, and every single time I'm out going for a cruise, I just feel great. And I don't know what it was inside of me, but every time I come back home, I wouldn't touch the bike. I wouldn't touch the bike for another month. And I'm not too sure what it really was, because I always loved to consume content of people riding their bike, and I'd always be looking at videos of newer bikes than what I had. And I'd always be taking a look at maybe like a sport bike, or maybe even a dual sport or a supermoto, and I just didn't really know what I wanted at first. Even though I had this bike and I went ahead and bought a second bike, they would just sit. They would just sit in the garage. And it was like that for a while, I'd say. Probably for the first year I've owned the bike. I gotta stop for a minute and take a look at this thing. This thing is beautiful now that I'm actually going out and riding it more often. I want to clear this trail just a little bit. For the first year, I wouldn't really ride the bike that much. And whenever I did, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. But I came back home and I always left the bike in the garage for months before I touched it. And then the second year of ownership came along. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out Unbound Forever. They are releasing their spring drop. They are doing 4 motorcycles, and all the designs look absolutely beautiful. The only way to get access to their merch is by subscribing to their private SMS list. The drop is on February 15th at 11 a.m. and they have also given us a discount code of $5, so use code buffnride. The end of 2023, when my cousin actually went ahead and purchased himself his first bike. He would always come over to my house every once in a while, and he would ride this bike and he'd absolutely love it. And he was just looking out for something that he could buy, and he finally found it. He did purchase himself a KTM 200, and it was a little two-stroke. It was a fun bike, and that's when I want to say I started riding more often. It wouldn't be a competition or anything, but as soon as my cousin sent me a snap of him riding his bike, that's when I went ahead and was like, hey, I should probably hop on my bike, and I'd also go ahead and take it for a ride. And it would be back and forth like that for a while, where we would just send each other snaps and we would ride. And then occasionally, maybe like once every 2 to 3 months, he'll come down over to my place and we'd ride. And having a friend was probably the biggest thing that went ahead and got me back into riding more often. The thing is, having somebody that you can go ahead and enjoy your hobby with together is kind of like the biggest reason why you might even be doing the hobby. And I want to go ahead and encourage you guys, if you have a bike sitting at home, in the garage, outside, maybe even indoors, wherever it is, go ahead, take it out for a ride. and encourage your friends to go ahead and ride with you. I think that's really important. Instead of spending hours a day, especially Saturdays, doing nothing, why not go ahead and dedicate that day to go out riding with your buddy? Or it even can be a day where you dedicate to fixing your bike, for example, or washing it, or doing an oil change, whatever it may be. Saturdays may be a track day for you. Whatever it is, I really encourage you guys to go ahead and ride with your buddies. Some of you guys, it might even be the fact that you went ahead and purchased a GoPro and you just left it at home and you don't really use it, and you always initially wanted to start making videos about your bike, something like that. I was in the same predicament, especially when I first got this dirt bike. I went ahead and did the same thing. I bought a GoPro. I wanted to start creating content, and I would film something here and there, but I never really took initiative to take it seriously or do it every single day. As I started to film more content the past couple days, in some sense I'm able to enjoy my bike in a different way.